Sorry.
I don't have a massive theme plan for today, other than to say I was listening to, well, it was an angel message. I listened to a lot of different people who offer a lot of different things. And it was an angel message, and it was talking about preparing for your journey. And the message that was coming through was, you know, it's the beginning of the year. We're all embarking on a new journey. And really, we could look at that as being every day. But we've already been going through a lot of changes, and there's more changes to come. And so the idea of the angel reading was to really sit and reflect on where are you wanting to go, and where are you experiencing stuckness? Where are you experiencing some stuck energy in your life? You know, is it in your family? Is it in your career? Is it with your friendships? Is it with adventure or travel? Like, where is it showing up? And so the idea was to reflect on that, but then also to consider different things about principles like what feng shui brings in. And feng shui, if you ever study how you create a good energy flow in your office or in your home, they're always looking to see where the stuck energy is in the architecture or in the interior design or within your collectings and belongings that are in your home, where you may have too much clutter, where the dust collects, where the dust bunnies always are, where the cobwebs tend to form. And that's typically where the stuck energy is. And so they want to open up the chi in the house. And the idea is in feng shui, and this applies because it's all energetics, it's all energy based. If you clean out something inside of your home, you're going to experience it on the inside of your mind or body as well, because they reflect each other. At the same time that you're cleaning out something internally within yourself, maybe processing some things or working through some things logically or emotionally, things on the outside can change. And this kind of goes back to what we were talking about a week or two ago about everything at a micro level will have an effect on the macro level, and everything at the micro level will also affect the micro level. So it's this constant fluidity of energy and how things are being reflected to us. And I thought this was an interesting exercise because she said, okay, reflect on where's the stuck energy and consider your space. So for instance, she said, you know, for instance, if it's your work or if you work from home, look at your desk, look at the surrounding area to see, are there too many papers piling up? Does it need to be cleared? And when she said that, I was thinking, I don't know if I really have a lot of stuck energy right now. Things are going pretty good. The only thing I wish was I really want to do more Reiki, right? I keep getting opportunities to teach more. I don't want to teach anymore. I have enough gigs with teaching. I want to do energy work. That's the direction I want to go with my spare time. And so I was considering this, and when I went back to my desk, I realized my mouse pad, Half Moon Yoga, sitting in my files right beside my computer, all the old taxes from Half Moon Yoga. And the studio doesn't exist anymore. But right, everything on my desk is not only yoga based, but it's based on the old energy, the old studio. So I was like, this can be important information for any of us. So my goal this afternoon is to go home and to clear everything off my desk that is Half Moon related. I'm even going to buy a new mouse pad. And I already knew that this was a thing. So a few months ago, I used to have all these Half Moon pens. And I decided to order Moonbeam pens. That's my new name. And so now I need to get the mouse pad, Moonbeam Yoga, and Reiki, right? I'm going to like change it up. So I thought if I could share my personal take on that, that maybe you could think about where you're stuck, where that's showing up. And if you want to bring in that feng shui concept, they have something that you could Google very easily, and it's called the Bagua map. And the Bagua map is a map that feng shui uses. And you basically look at it, it's like a big square with 9 different sections. Each section has a different color, relates to a different part of your body, but also relates to a different avenue of your life. From children to travel, to career, to reputation, to I can't remember them all, but there's 9 of them. And what you do is basically look at your house from the time you walk in the front door, and then you take that map and kind of put it over what do you call those sketches of your home? Those, floor plans, thank you. You basically look at your floor plan and you go, okay, well, do I have this color somewhere in this section of the house? If I'm having some hip trouble, what area goes back to hips? Can I clean up that area? Maybe it'll help me clean up this area of my body. Do you see what I'm saying? It's fascinating. I put this into play a number of years ago with my house. It made a ton of difference. And you guys know me long enough. I was single for like 10 years and I couldn't meet men. And when I did, it didn't work out. And I took another feng shui workshop and she was like, pay attention to the art in your home and what's being emitted from your art. Well, everywhere in my home, I have like paintings of Europe, beautiful paintings of Europe, but they were a little like, rainy, right? They weren't bright and sunny. It was like Venice, Amsterdam, anyway. Then the other pictures in my house was single redheaded women. The famous picture of one like selling a rose, another famous one of picking up a shell on the beach. And I had this realization when I went home, I'm like, no wonder I'm single. And in my bedroom, I had the Lady of Shalott, a beautiful painting, famous painting. And it's a woman, a redheaded woman in a canoe who looks sad, but if you know the story of the Lady of Shalott, it's a fable from Europe, and she's cursed. She can't be with the man that she loves, and she ends up dying down the river in the canoe, right? And I started looking around, I'm like, okay, first of all, this is kind of depressing. And second of all, it's a bunch of single women. So I got rid of them all. And my mom was so upset with me because I just sent them to Goodwill. Like I didn't try to sell, and I was just like, Goodwill, here you go. It changed it. Within a year, I was in a relationship. So this energy exchange and how things reflect in our environment holds a role with our life. So let's start in child's pose. By the way, we're going to be building up to half moon. Since I mentioned it today, you may want blocks if you need it for that pose. And as you drop down into your child's position, you can really be in the ones where the arms wrap around the body, the spine gently rounds like an egg shape. Or you can extend your arms out if you need more traction in your back. So discover which one you want to start off with, and you can always use props. That helps you to get more comfortable. Then drop down to the brow, penetrating the third eye, which will help to be a little stimulus for this energy center. This energy center helps us with insight and awareness. And so maybe ponder for a moment if you are feeling stuck somewhere, or if you're not getting enough movement or momentum in some avenue of your life. And then begin your conscious breath work. Breathing in and out through the nose. In a deep diaphragmatic way. Allowing this breath work to center and focus your mind before we begin the mindful movement. Let the breath build a deeper connection between your mind and body. realign you back to your spirit within. On your next in-breath, stretch your arms forward and out. Rock up to hands and knees. Separate your toes and make sure the knees are fairly narrow, not a lot of space in between. We're going to imagine we're sitting on a big clock. We're facing 12. We're going to step the hands off to the right to face 1 and 2. Now, the right hand's going to stay the short hand of the clock. The left arm's going to extend forward and out, and you gently lower halfway down. If you want a little bit more oomph in this pose, you grip your hands, pressing the right hand forward and slightly sliding your left hand back. You do not have to add in that extra work. Either way, just breathe into the left side of your body. On your next inhalation, gently slide your left hand in, lift your head and chest. Travel over to the left side to the imaginary 10 and 11. The left hand will be the short hand this time. Your right arm will slide out. Suction cup your hands to the floor. Pushing ahead with your left hand, drawing back with your right. Stretching out the side lats, opening up the side intercostal muscles. Stretching out the shoulder. Inhale, gently come up, walk your hands back to the sticky mat, curl your toes under, and launch into downward facing dog. Your hands are shoulder distance apart. You're pushing the floor away from you with your hands. You're lining up your arms alongside your ears as your head bows. Rolling the thighs in, powering them back. Staying with your breath. Now bend your left knee and really sink your right heel low, 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 low. And then swap sides, bend your right knee, sink your left heel very low to the ground. Once you take a moment to really stretch that out, you're gonna travel the feet forward to the top of the mat. Once you come through to the top, plug the feet down into the floor so that your legs really zip up. You're hinging from your hips, your head is bowing, the crown of the head is facing the floor. Arms are dangling down towards the toes, regardless if they touch or not. The eyes can be open or closed here. You may even notice being flipped upside down in this position, your cheeks may feel slightly heavier. This is a great way to replenish the skin of the face. Now root down to the soles of the feet, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. Think about gathering all the positive energy you need, remembering there's so much abundance in this world that you can break through any stuck or stagnant energy. Exhale, bring the hands straight through your center line. Come back over into your Uttanasana, affirming nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back. On your next inhalation, step back into your plank position. Keep your arms aligned. Lower your left knee to the ground. Send your shin back. Turn and plant your right foot and soar the right arm skyward. So since we're building up for half moon today, this is a good preparation, although we're closer to the floor. We're going to mimic the look of half moon by sending the right foot in midair, no higher than your hip. Splay the toes and reach through the mound of the big toe. Push back through your heel as well. Stretch out through your vertebrae. Open up the belly. Stack the shoulders. Find your breath. Exhale, drop the right foot down to the floor, arc through the side body. Take the right arm and just drape it over your ear. You have like a cat stretch here with your rib cage flying upward. And then as you exhale, gently lower the right hand down, bring that left foot back to the mat and lower the right knee. All right, I'll do that to the other side. Right shin goes back, left leg down the length of your mat, taking the left arm skyward. Being here first. Now use your right hand, your right shin and foot to anchor down. And take your left foot up. Splay the toes, reach to the padding of the foot. Strengthen the hip, tone the leg, tone your core. Find something to gaze at since this is a balancing pose. And practice patience with your body. Now step the left foot down, curve up through your side ribs, lower the head, and that left arm. Breathe into your side body. As you exhale, slowly drift the left hand down, bring the right foot back, lower the left knee. Good, curl the toes under, lift back to plank. Shift forward, lower down to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, bloom up to upward facing dog. Good, exhale, curl your toes, and we're first pushing back into this variation of child's pose that my original teacher referred to as Mecca. The difference is the toes are tucked. Now with the toes curled under and your hips moving back towards your feet, notice the mound of that big toe and how it feels. This is a similar action that we're doing when we're in half moon, when that foot is ascending and pushing away from the body. Not this dramatic, but here we can open up the fascia of the feet and work the reflex points of the toes. Think about how often our feet are smothered in shoes. Inhale, rock up to hands and knees, keep the toes curled, lift up to downward facing dog. Now, push up and out of your seat. And you should be residing more on the balls of the feet now. Two more breaths. You're ready. Step, lunge, or float the feet to the top of the mat, and you can just lower today. On your next in-breath, sweep the arms to your sides and up. Remembering there's an abundant supply for everyone. We just have to tap in. Bring the blessings down through your center line and humbly fold again to Uttanasana, affirming nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back. I choose to clear any stuck or stagnant energy. Inhale. This time you're going to step both feet back to point. Exhale, shift forward, lower down, Chaturanga. We're going right into the Vinyasa this time. Inhale, bloom up to up dog. Exhale, curl your toes. We're moving right back into this Mecca position. I've never heard any other teacher besides my original teacher call this pose this name. But I do like it because it differentiates it from the other variations. And it's very similar to how the prayers are done. Inhale, rock forward, hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. From Adho Mukha Svanasana, we're going to step the left foot forward. And when you step that left foot forward, lunge that knee so it's stacking over the ankle. At the same time, you're pushing your right thigh on back. We're gonna inhale, just ever so lightly lift the hips, nothing extreme. And as you exhale, sink the hips lower than they initially were. Good. We're just pumping up on the inhale and we're sinking lower on the exhale. You are certainly welcome to have blocks underneath your hands. After that third one, replant the palms, return to downward facing dog. And inhale, step your right foot forward. Be in this runner's type lunge. The blocks can be under the shoulders. And then we'll inhale, pulse up. Exhale, drop it a little lower. You got it, twice more with your breath. Last one. Now springboard the back foot to the top of the mat. Return into the standing forward fold. The forward folds are expressive in nature regarding the process of letting go. What do we need to let go of in our space or environment or our lives to create space for new energy to flow in? Inhale, root to rise. Breathe all the way up to upward worship. Being grateful for what we've already achieved, what we already have. Exhale, bring the hands down through center. Taking your Uttanasana. Good, on your next in-breath, step to plank. Exhale, rock forward, shoulders cross past the wrist, lower down, chaturanga, hover if possible. Wait for the inhale to build you up. And allow the exhale to carry you all the way back to down dog this time. We're gonna change up the flow a little bit. On your next inhale, we're stepping the right foot all the way forward and up between the hips. This time, I would encourage you to have blocks. And remember, the blocks can turn different heights. You're gonna power down through the right foot as if you're accelerating in your car to straighten out your front leg. And then rotate your left hip forward towards the front of the room. All right, from here, keep your arms elongated, keep your head up. And then as you exhale, lunge the knee. Good, inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, lunge the knee. One more, inhale. Taking this a little deeper than we did earlier. This time as you inhale, re-straighten. Push down a little harder through the ball of the right foot. Notice how it fires up the shin. All right, we're gonna bend the front knee just a tad to hop the back foot slightly forward. Square the hips. And now we're gonna move down into more of a pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. So if you have the flexibility, go ahead and release and surrender down and spiral the navel towards your front thigh. You can have the head draping, or you can have the head slightly lifted, gazing towards your toes. Sense what is best for your neck and move there. One last breath. Maybe play your initial edge. Do you have any allotment to go any deeper? Don't push or fight it. Inhale, slowly undulate up with your back. Lunge the knee, wiggle the left toes back behind you. Plant the palms, return to downward facing dog. All right, from here, we're gonna go through that same flow, but with the left leg in the lead. So when you're ready, left foot steps through, Feel free to bring the blocks back into play. Push down through the left foot, straighten out the front leg, and roll the right hip towards me. Your head stays up, the neck stays in line with the spine. Standing form of Hanumanasana. All right, let's lunge that knee. Good, inhale, straighten it out. Exhale, lunge. Good, another set. Good, hop the back foot slightly forward. Ground your back heel, glue it down. Take the navel, spin it over towards the front leg, and then sink down. This is one of those poses where I like to close the eyes. You don't have to. Closing the eyes removes the distractions from what we're taking in visually. Like when I give Reiki to someone, I always have my eyes closed. Because when my eyes are closed, I receive more information, more intuitive visions or messages versus my eyes being open. You may start to have some similar experiences working through your body. Practicing your yoga. On your next inhale, go ahead and create some space. Lunge the front knee, wiggle the right toes back. Separate the blocks away because we're going to launch the right foot through and then lower back down and in. All right, inhale, bring the arms to your sides and up overhead. Palms joined together at the top. We're going to do one more of these sun sals, so fold over your lower body. Lifting through your knees if you want to stay active here. Inhale, step back to your plank. Exhale, rock forward, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, rise to upward facing dog. Exhale, roll it back to downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, we're going to be working with triangle next. So your left foot's going to step through. Your right foot is going to turn down. And go ahead and lift your hands up. And you're going to be turning to face that direction towards Heather. Now Heather gets to be in the lead. Oh no. Stretch the arms out, shoulder height. Press out over that side. Good. Windmill down. Now check in with your left hand. I usually just rest it on the chin. Sometimes people like having the hand resting forward of the shin, but you have to grip your feet more and you have to grip your navel more. Your hand may also join your ankle or foot, but if you bring it to the floor, I would suggest instead of the inside where you can come out of alignment, taking the hand to the outside of the foot. You can also use a block for stability. Now really push your hips towards the back wall, really stack the shoulders. Feel how open your torso feels with that hand flying upward. And then exhale, slowly bring that arm down, gaze down, thread it slightly underneath that front leg. Feel that little contraction in your core, that twist. And then inhale, reopen the abdomen and sail the right arm back up. You got it. Exhale. Slowly bring it down and under. Inhale, open yourself back to the right. We're going to do one more. Exhale, thread it under. And then inhale, lift it right back up. So what you're feeling right now in this open expression for your torso, through your arm,
this will show up in our half move. Lunge the front knee, spin away from the back heel, land your hands. Step into downward facing dog. I'll take a moment to even feel that energy rolling, dispersing, perhaps absorbing through that left side. Okay. Clearing some things out here internally. The right foot now will step forward. The back heel will drape down. Once both feet are solid, you can slowly come up to stand. And then expand your arms. Lengthen out over the front leg and windmill down. Discover where you want your hand position. Remember, it's okay if our body is changing and we need to change up where we typically place it. For years, I could bring my head all the way to the floor. Now, halfway down my shin's enough. You may have the opposite occurrence. You may start it with your shin, and you may be able to grab the foot at this point. There's no right or wrong, good or bad, so don't judge it. Once you have the stability through your foundation, let's start to roll. So flow the left hand down and underneath the right leg. Inhale, sail it back towards the sky. Notice you have to depend on your feet here when you're rolling in and out of these two postures. Take your time and flow with your breath and do it 3 times over. Holding it. Stillness once you've completed the 3 sets. And then turn the gaze down towards your right foot, lunge that knee, turn into that low lunge, springboard the back foot forward, and lower your head and heart. Arms relaxing off the mat. Inhale, root down through the legs and feet, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. We'll complete the sun salve, bringing the hands down to the heart, thumbs connecting to the sternum. Close the eyes. Your heart sped up. Good time. Control the breath. Just slow it back down. Wheels of the mind are turning. Same idea. Control your breath. Slow down those restless thoughts. Yes. Relax the arms. All right. Before we go on, I want you to take your left arm behind you and your right arm below that. Let your shoulders roll back and descend down away from your ears. And I want you to feel how your head and your neck is balanced in between the shoulders. When we take half moon pose, right, which looks like this, sometimes the head's dripping, sometimes it's lifting too much. And I just want you to get familiar with how the neck should feel when it's balanced in between. And then we'll go ahead and stretch the neck. So lower the right ear towards the right shoulder. This is what we don't want to be doing when we're in half moon. Semicircle the head down to the chest. Inhale, pick the crown of the head up. And then reverse the crossing of the arms. Lift up through your chest, sink the shoulders away from your ears. Feel that balance of the head resting on the shoulders, perfectly in between. This will come back into play when we're in a different form. And then lower the left ear down towards the left shoulder. This is what we don't want to do with the head. But right now it feels good, right? Because we're purposely stretching out these muscles. When you're in half moon, you're not getting the same effect. Semicircle the chest or the chin down towards your chest. And then inhale with the head back up. All right, so let's keep the left arm behind the back and maybe try to wiggle, worm it up. And then fly the right arm skyward. Rotate that arm so the palm is facing behind you, then bend from the elbow. It's okay if the fingers don't touch. You're still in the pose. Go Mukasana arms. Close your eyes. Affirming here, free in my heart, I choose to live without any fear. Coming back to Feng Shui, I remember doing a workshop called Declutter Your Space. And we all had to bring something from our home that we didn't use, that we didn't love, but that was still in our house just in case. And it was really interesting to see all the objects that everybody brought to the workshop. But she made a good point. She goes, if we're really trusting and having faith in the divine and that our needs will be met, why are we holding on to something just in case? Trust that your needs will be provided when they need to be provided. Create space and room for new energy to flow in, new opportunities to come in, new relationships to arrive. All right, we're gonna take the right arm now behind, wiggle it upstream, left arm on the rise, rinse out the shoulder, flex from the elbow. The hands may or may not meet here, that's okay. Keep the integrity of the approach, of the intention, without trying to force the hands to meet. Breathe into your heart space. Release the arms. Okay, roll the shoulders back, kind of loosen them up. That's a lot. We're going to take the blocks and we're going to have them shoulder distance apart. The left foot is going to stand kind of in the middle of the blocks, but 12 inches back. The toes are facing the center in between the blocks. Then we're going to place the hands onto the blocks and we're going to slowly elevate the right leg. When you elevate the right leg, notice if you're sensing the inner thigh of the standing leg, either lightly or coolness or stretch. And if that's the case, the hips may be twisting, that right hip may be hiking up. So dip it down so the hips are more even. And then you should feel the whole circumference of your right thigh strengthening and holding you in place. Now, instead of dropping the head, keep the head up. What were you, what did you have a question? Oh, you're good, you're good, yeah. Heart shines forward, right heel pushes back.
Now, I want you to gaze down for a moment and notice how the left foot is to the inside of that left block. This is what we're going to want alignment-wise for Ardha Chandrasana. All right, replace the left foot with your right and pick up the left leg. Stretch it back behind you, really push back through that ankle. And again, checking in with the left hip. You may need to roll it down a little bit. Square it up. Head is up. Notice the right hand's to the outside of the pinky toe. This is what we'll need for balance when we roll open to half moon. All right, when you're ready. Replace the left foot with your right. Carry the right leg up and back. And this time we're going to go for it. Stabilize with that left hand and block. Slowly stack the hips. Roll open to your right. And then make sure your head is neutral in between the shoulders. Not lifting or descending. Push back through the mound of the right big toe. Breathe. Good. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Bring the right foot to replace your left. So we'll move right into it. Stretch out through the left leg. Stabilize with your right arm. You may or may not need a block there. And then roll open. Feel that triangle expression in your upper body. Exhale, lower the left hand, and then the left foot, and come up. We did this flow recently, but I want to invite us into the same flow again because it's fun. Keep your blocks as they were. Replace your left foot. So it's in that alignment, backed away from the block, patting corner, about 12 inches, and then step your right foot back. We're going to work into triangle, and I'll go ahead and show you so you know what we're doing. Triangle, and then the arm rolls back towards the hip, down towards the floor. Try not to move the left foot, and you can choose to stay here, which is easier, or you can roll open to half moon. But the trick is we're going to try to come out the same way. So if you roll to half moon, we'll come here to this balancing pose. We'll bend the standing leg, sink the right foot down, circle the right arm back, replace the left hand to the body, and return to triangle. So let's try. When you're ready, open the arms, lift the heart, push back through your hips, and come to triangle first. Think about the 3 points of the triangle. Allow that to represent mind, body, and spirit. Then bring the right arm down towards the hip. Clockwork it down towards the floor. Go ahead and lunge that knee. Hop onto the block if you're using it. Reach out through your right limb. Stabilize here first. And then if you want that extra challenge, right arm up and spin to the right. Return to the balancing pose where you're looking down. Bend the standing knee. Dip the right foot down. Bring the right hand back. Left hand replace to the shin. And come back to triangle. And up to stand. Good. Relax your arms. I love that flow. When you're ready, right foot is going to replace your left. Step back with the left foot. Open up the arms. Press out over. Windmill down. Be here first.
So triangle really is a great prep position. If you're ever wanting to do half moon at home and you need a little warm up. Bring the hand back towards the hip, circle it down towards